a lot could be said in having family today when there's everything against the family. Family is being kicked, ruined, kicked in the butt, kicked in the groins. Family is destroyed, dismantled constantly, belittled, ridiculed. And yet family, it's the very first unit of society. It's the most important thing. There's nothing more important than the family. This is why in certain traditions, the first bow goes to the mother, before the guru, before the gods, before the deities. So what is the path of the householder? The path of the householder is first and foremost finding reminders of the unity of everything in those honey moments and screams, in the sleepless nights, in the times when the teething comes, when the colics, when the tummy aches. You see?
Just when you were talking about the fact that you can't love someone else before you love yourself.
No, you can. I don't mean to interrupt you. You can, but it will always be a convoluted affair.
Yeah. So I'll just start by saying I've been. This is my first retreat here, and I'm struggling to kind of relax and to get into it. There's been a lot of stress in my life over the last year or so. A lot of bliss as well. I've had a newborn daughter who's amazing, but has been really challenging with all sorts of health issues and screaming through the night. So my nervous system feels very much like it's tight and it wants to explode. And also it's brought up a lot of dynamics with my partner during this whole process. And there's a lot of work that I need to do in order to both love myself and her more. And it's just brought up this dilemma inside me where like a really deep part of me, wants to be here. The journey here challenged me to no end as well. So I really wanted to come here, and there is this longing inside me to basically just connect with everything you're talking about, right? To that capital S self, and to love. And I'm finding my real life situation challenging and full of stress, and almost seemingly the opposite. So I know that Tantra is the householder's path, and I need to work with what I've got. But at the moment it seems like polar opposites. There's this deep longing to be still, to connect to that place. And then the responsibilities placed on me by real life, by my partner, by my daughter, by my job, feel like they're polar opposites to what I really need deep down. So there's a real tension there. There's a real kind of constriction dilemma, which I was hoping you can help me out with.
Well, first of all, congratulations with the baby girl. Is this your first child?
Yeah, first child, yeah.
So this, no doubt, very, very special happening in your life, and in your family life, and the life of your partner. And it's not that it's easy for me to speak because I'm a father 5 times, in fact.
I know, yeah.
Most recently as well, 3.5-year-old girl. And everything that you're saying is on a cellular level, it's just here. It's totally, I'm with you.
That makes me feel a bit better.
Yeah. So the sleepless nights, it still happens to this day. So everything that what you're going through now, it's all legitimate, not invented, not somehow sometimes people they start speaking and they start presenting dilemma. Not to discard that what I said yesterday, everyone fights their own battle, that iconic saying, right? Let's be considered, let's not just, let's not forget everyone fighting their own battle, and every battle is legitimate because it's at each and everyone's individual level is a battle, is something that needs to be faced, squared on a daily basis. But that what you're sharing is a factual. Some other maybe battles are often perceived, sometimes projected imaginations.
There's definitely a bit of that too.
Yeah, very good if you recognize that, because this is an entrance already. So what I would simply suggest is that, and this is immediately to what is happening right now, and also as that encouragement in general. So since you are here, so it's great if you allow yourself to be fully here. So because also these programs are for that, above else, freeing the system from any accumulated stresses. Not just immediate stresses, but deeper seated stresses. So you, from that, speaking from that point of view, you are in a good place to unwind, to unload. There is, of course, a lot could be said in terms of the correlationship between the functioning of our nervous system and ability to cope with stress. So this is one thing is, yes, Tantra is the path of the householder, not the one who is a renunciate or have the luxury of, let's say, being given to studies only, like this. A true luxury, true, set of circumstances one can give oneself to intellectual inquiry, and needs space, needs means, needs the right environment even, I would say. You can't do that in an environment which is hostile, violent. Right? So why is it householder path? Is because it has these distinctive elements, distinctive aspects that are designed literally to help the householder to cope in every given situation. It begins with totality of all embracing acceptance of things how they are. So the beginning is, the very first, as a rule of the thumb, is that things will always go astray. Things will, in the family is designed for things to be like, you want to have your cake and eat it too? Well, I'm sorry, that family is designed for being taken out of your comfort zone, period.
Chaos, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's an orchestrated chaos. But it is an orchestrated chaos. So you might have heard me speaking about it often. So you may even have some insights that it requires also to be able to appreciate that what is under the term orchestrated. Orchestrated. Like obviously some tastes that I have carry inevitably spills out into these discourses. So I can spice it up with few new names, but I'm sorry, I'm not the one who listens Ed Sheeran. I'm not. By generation, I'm gone. It doesn't touch me. And although he's a fantastic songwriter, a good singer, somehow this, like, Eminem is closer to me by age, much closer, even though he's still a youngster. He belongs to the younger generation. But still, when I hear him, there is this vibing of that more youthful, let's say, on a cellular level vibrations. So that's why my examples often come from that vintage of, like, I don't even know why, but it's just that. Maybe I'm revisiting it. At some point, the Deep Purple played at the Royal Albert Hall, very early on in their career, in fact, with the whole Philharmonic Orchestra. The 4 guys there standing on this stage with the full, huge orchestra behind them, with young God looking like Ian Gillan, who was the vocal of the, what is it? Jesus Christ Superstar, right? Rock opera, the first rock opera. It's a rock. So a lot of improvisation. Back in the days, that's what it was. And yet there are 40-piece violins. There is everything. A full orchestra is accompanying it. You could say it's an experiment. Happened back then. Interesting experiment. So that orchestrated part here is to be tapped into, so that there is this understanding that this rock opera of life, of the family life, would have its crescendos, would have its screams. It's just tune yourself aesthetically. It's not a tenor. It's not the a kind of operatic singing. There is this deliberateness. In fact, the story of Ian Gillan is such, is that he was found to join Deep Purple because Led Zeppelin came up with Robert Plant. When the founding members of Deep Purple, Richie Blackmore and John Lord, heard Led Zeppelin before they became Led Zeppelin, when they heard Robert Plant, they realized they need to sack their singer, they need to have some guy who can truly scream. Because that's what it's about. It's about scream. The guy needs to scream, and here comes Ian Gillan, who could really outscream everyone. With a honey-like tone of voice as Elvis. That's what the beauty is, the register. The honey-like tones. And he sings. I will share with all of you because it's really otherwise falls flat. Even this afternoon, I will fish out a tune, even from Royal Albert Hall. I'm sure I've seen it not long ago, where Ian Gillan sings more ballad style that, like, you would be like, pinch me not, this is like, gosh, golden age of singing. And yet when he goes into a scream, it's like a real scream, splits you open. That's what family life is about. You see? So you need to hear the sound, in the sounds, this orchestration that is inherent in that. Recognize and learn to love them. In advance, there will be honeyed moments, honeyed like never repeated, never again. God bless you with many more children, if you can stomach it, but just saying, because it never gets. For me personally, it's like only now I can say that I'm becoming a father. I'm somehow like too fast. Only now, truly now, for the 5th time, I'm truly feeling that fatherhood at the age of when I go to pick up my daughter from the nursery. I'm the eldest dad, truly the grayest, the baldest, old guy. Grandparents come to pick up and we are of the same age. That's how it is. But I'm her dad, you see? So when the girl runs to me and jumps, it's like, these are the honey moments. You bathe in these honey moments and it's yours, man. You take it all in. But there are screams. And that's when it's rock and roll. You see, that's why it's the path of the householder. Everything, you're just living it fully. All that karma is presenting itself for what it is. You chose it. You went for it consciously. You see? You did not, like, there's a lot could be said in having family today when there's everything against the family. Families being kicked, ruined, kicked in the butt, kicked in the groins. Families destroyed, dismantled constantly, belittled, ridiculed. And yet family, it's the very first unit of society. It's the most important thing. There's nothing more important than the family. This is why in certain traditions, the first bow goes to the mother, before the guru, before the gods, before the deities. So what is the path of the householder? The path of the householder is first and foremost finding reminders of the unity of everything in those honey moments and screams, in the sleepless nights, in the times when the teething comes, when the colics, when the tummy aches. You see? All that. When there will be absolutely a lot of disagreement with the partner, with the loved one, because there was also what would be the most obviously sacrificed is the intimacy as well. For the intimacy, there needs to be plumbness of physical and, like psychological predisposition, But there will be no time. The more children you have, the less time it's possible. See? So, where is the reminder? The reminder comes beforehand. It's too late if you remind yourself after. Sometimes it's still good. You lost it, then you remind yourself, you're out of that place. So in other words, it's a kind of a conscious way of surrender already. You see? All the hell will break loose because it's part of that what we experience as heaven. So, what else can I say to console you? It's not to console you, it's to bring you simply this understanding that you would need to be really on top of everything. You have to be on top of everything. Because in the family, you represent the quality of that Shiva. You represent the quality of awareness in terms of its divine masculine principle. So therefore, you have to be able to stand no matter what is thrown at you. Where can you draw the strength from?
No pressure.
Yeah. Only that what is not subject to stress. So therefore, it's established in the self. You have to be established in yourself. Body will constantly remind you about its limitations because neurophysiology, 3 nights out of proper sleep, you're out of whack.
Try 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying deliberately 3 days because it takes longer and it can go like really, it can be prolonged. You need to be smart as well, like a simple thing like a drink of cumin, coriander, and fennel for the mother, if she's breastfeeding, will relieve baby from unnecessary colics. So one also have to be smart to implement all this grandma medicine so that there is also, how to soothe all these moments where it's guaranteed to push you over the edge. But the reminder here has to be before, prior. So there would have to be a shortcut. And I welcome you to learn this fast here, internum, quickly. So that you have the capacity to fall into that void of the self at any time. So Tantra is practiced, you see? At any time, you have to be able to fall into that place so as to restore yourself instantly. And then you will see the extraordinary side of this path in action. See? And then it's best when it all comes, when the whole package comes together. See? It's best because then there's nothing that you bypass. It all works. It's like, it's in a way very healthy. Very healthy. In this, with everything like that, with kids coming, with everything under pressure, work, this, that, livelihood, all at once, and you also understand, otherwise you wouldn't have been in this kind of program, what is really what, and how it all really, where it all rests. So, in a way, it's a very, very good place to be, you see? So let's flip this whole thing, flip this understanding, you see? Yes, we always feel hard done. There's always, every man is yesterday's boy. Every man is yesterday's father's boy, mother's boy, every man. Doesn't matter the age. Every man wants to be nurtured, spoiled, be at center of attention. Every man. This is the part which we don't need to reclaim. That sovereignty. It's like every man is a prince. Like in my own kingdom, I'm a prince. Okay, here maybe nobody recognizes that princehood, but trust me, like, but that's where the true test, you see? So, sacrificing that consciously with great sense of integrity is what turns man into man. How men become men? They either become men in a battlefield because the times, or they become in nitty-gritty, grinding situations at home because they still retain their manhood there. It does not thwart them. It doesn't make them into, I don't want to use these terms. That's what the householder path is about. This is, Shiva is a householder. Shiva is a householder. At least according to how mythology views this. He stands the tantrums of Parvati. He's constantly being pulled here and there out of meditation, constantly being pulled into something that he has to adhere to. So again, learning how to fall into that field is the skills you need to acquire so that you can fold into this at any time. You see? So this is my encouragement to you as an intention so that you are equipped with that capacity to restore yourself instantly. And even if the body is tired, there is still this reserve because you tap into that. You're taking to your limits. I'm not talking about remaining cool in all circumstances. No. Give yourself allowance to lose it. Absolutely. It's part and parcel. Yeah. You have to be able to unload. It's totally part of the script. See? Part of the script, and that's where the orchestras come in, and that's where all the 40 violin come in. See?
Thank you.